I told my ex-husband's son the truth about why we divorced and how he came to be. Last Sunday, my ex-stepson Jake showed up at my door looking upset. He's 16 now, and I hadn't seen him since the divorce 2 years ago. He asked if we could talk because his dad had been telling him stories that didn't add up. Jake sat on my couch and said his dad told him that I left because I couldn't handle being a stepmom, that I was jealous of Jake and wanted his dad all to myself. He said his dad claimed I broke up their happy family because I was selfish. I looked at this kid I helped raise for 5 years and felt my heart break. His dad had been feeding him lies to make himself look better. I asked Jake what specifically he wanted to know. He said the timeline never made sense to him. His dad always said they got together after his mom died in a car accident when Jake was 3, but Jake found some old photos last week while cleaning out his grandma's attic. The photos showed his dad and me at Jake's 4th birthday party, but there were also pictures of his dad with his mom at what looked like the same party. Jake said his mom looked very much alive in those photos. That's when I realized Jake's dad had been lying to him about everything for years. I took a deep breath and asked if he really wanted to know the truth. He nodded. I explained that his dad and I got married when Jake was 2. His mom wasn't dead. She was very much alive and living across town. His dad had been having an affair with his mom while married to me. Jake's eyes got wide. He asked how long the affair went on. I told him it started about 6 months after we got married and continued for 3 years. His dad would tell me he was working late or going out with friends, but he was really seeing Jake's mom. The worst part was that his dad got his mom pregnant with Jake while we were married. When Jake was born, his dad told me it was his friend's baby and that he was just helping out a single mom. I believed him because I trusted my husband. For Jake's first 2 years, I thought I was just being a good stepmom, helping out with my husband's friend's kid. I babysat Jake, bought him clothes, took him to doctor appointments. I loved that little boy like he was my own. Then one day, Jake's mom called me directly and told me everything. She said she was tired of sneaking around and wanted to be a real family with my husband. She told me Jake was actually my husband's son, not some friend's kid. I confronted my husband that night. He broke down and admitted the whole thing. He said he never meant for it to go on so long, but he loved both of us and couldn't choose. He begged me not to leave and promised to end things with Jake's mom. But it was too late. I'd been living a lie for 5 years, taking care of a child while being lied to about who he really was, loving a man who was living a double life. Jake was quiet for a long time after I finished. Then he asked why his mom wasn't around anymore if she wanted to be a family so badly. I told him she moved to California with a new boyfriend about a year after our divorce, leaving Jake with his dad. He started crying and said he felt like his whole life was a lie. I hugged him and told him that none of this was his fault, that I never stopped caring about him, even after everything that happened. Jake asked if he could visit me sometimes because he missed having me around. I said of course he was always welcome here. 2 hours later, his dad showed up pounding on my door, screaming about how I had no right to tell Jake the truth. I told him through the door that Jake deserved to know why his life fell apart and that I was done protecting his lies. Jake still comes over every few weeks now. We make pancakes and talk about school and his friends. He calls me by my first name instead of mom, but that's okay. At least now he knows someone in his life will always tell him the truth.